The top stories. Ministry calls on teachers to return to work. No baggy pants or shorts. The Transport Ministry sets out uniform rules for PSVs. And St. George we come from. Action from school sports. Welcome to Nation News for Wednesday, February the 11th, 2015.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your news, your time, your way.
The standoff remains at Alma Paris and Parkinson Memorial Secondary Schools. The Ministry of Education has called for protesting teachers to return to classes for a full day, even as they appear to be digging in with what amounts to half-day strikes. The Barbados Union of Teachers says those who have withdrawn their labour in protest against the principals of the two schools will continue to meet at BUT headquarters for the rest of the week. That's where they were for the second consecutive day, missing pre-lunch school periods but reporting for duty in the afternoons. BUT President Pedro Shepherd said official correspondence about the daily meetings was being sent to the Ministry of Education. The ministry put out its own statement saying the meetings amounted to industrial action because there was no official dispute between the union and the ministry. It urged all teachers of the two schools to return to work immediately. December and January have been terrific months for tourist arrivals by air. They went up by 19.4% in December, which helped Barbados to record a relatively modest 2.2% increase year on year. For the first 28 days of January, preliminary figures show a 9.5% rise. The update was provided by the Caribbean Tourism Organization. The CTO reported a 5.3% rise in tourist arrivals to the Caribbean in 2014, and its chairman, the Barbados Tourism Minister Richard Seeley, says the region has to build on this performance.
Therefore, in order to build on our record performance in 2014, we have to bolster the development of our communities, and we have to invest in a coordinated strategy to see that we continue to promote the Caribbean. At the same time, if we are to keep the visitors coming, if we are to maintain interest in our region, we have to withstand the competition coming from emerging destinations and sometimes coming from our own source markets. We all know the campaigns, specifically in the United Kingdom and USA, to encourage their citizens to vacation within their own countries.
Two individuals who recently entered the island from Ebola-affected countries are being monitored by the Ministry of Health. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Joyce St. John says both individuals are low risk, which means they've had no contact with the disease. The temperature of the two will be monitored twice a day for the period of time they are in the country. The Transport Ministry has been setting out details of the new dress code for drivers and conductors of ZRs and minibuses. The code takes effect from March the 1st, and those who breach it face penalties of $1,000 or 12 months imprisonment or both. The rules set out the colors and styles and stipulate no short pants or mini skirts and no slippers. Shirts must be tucked in and clothes must be neither excessively tight nor excessively loose. So no baggy pants then. No word though on hair other than the mandatory requirements that workers on PSVs must be well groomed. So get your combs out. Another day and another narrow miss from a bullet. A woman from Silver Hill says she is thankful that she was not at home on Monday when a bullet broke her bedroom window, pierced her curtain, and tore through her wooden wardrobe door before striking the wall and falling into a bag. That was a story Zelma Chapman told to Nation News. Ms. Chapman said she did not realize there was a shooting in the area until she opened the window on Tuesday morning and saw a hole. She said another house in the area was also damaged by gunshots. Crane Beach has been called the ultimate spot for soaking up the sun in the whole of the Caribbean. But some say that getting to USA Today's best Caribbean beach is a bit of a challenge. via a steep cliff. Natasha Beckles investigates.
You may recall Crane Beach was recently voted Best Caribbean Beach by the readers of USA Today. Amidst all the excitement, there were some complaints about accessibility. Nation News visited the St. Philip Beach to hear from locals and visitors. If you're not entering from the hotel, this is the path sea bathers must take to reach the beach. As you can see, stepping stones have been placed to make the trek easier, but it would be a challenge for those less mobile, like the elderly. Finally, we are on the beach, and what a lovely stretch it is. No one would comment on camera, but both visitors and locals said they had no problems with access. The lifeguard on duty also said he had not heard any complaints. This is Natasha Beckles for Nation News.
Victor Farrell and his wife Joan are the winners of the Christmas draw of Energen Technologies, the renewable energy company. They've won a trip for two to London and Paris, accompaniments Going Places Travel. Congratulations. In sports, St. George's Secondary is the latest to grace the track at the National Stadium for School Sports. Andy Thornhill has more.
Okay, we're speaking to, if not the top athlete at the school among the females, certainly close to the top. Jill Williams, under 20 champion. And Jill, how do you feel about your form right now going into BSAC?
I feel pretty confident and I will place up in there.
What is your favorite event at this time? And you, of course, at school sports, your own in-house sports, you do multiple events. Which ones are you likely to do for BSAC?
The 4, the 1, and maybe the 8. I'm not too sure.
How has your training been going?
Pretty well.
We know that your mom is ever present, ever constant, supporting you all through the years. What does that mean to you?
It's been an encouragement to see her here because a lot of female parents don't come, so it's an encouragement.
Thank you. Well, it's been a fun day here at the St. George Sports, as you can see in the background. That's the teacher's race. That's not going to add though to the official point standings. Never mind which house they are representing. What we can tell you for sure is that Blue, who has been the champions here since 2007, they have retained the title. They've beaten out Red again. So, a dose of the Blues once more at the St. George Secondary School Sports. Yes, it's been a wonderful day. We've had some extremely good performances from people like Jill Williams and Shaquem York. We'll see how they match up against some of the best at BSAC. For the Nation News Wrap, I'm Andy Thornhill.
He doesn't have a vote, but Andy Roberts is backing his one-time Test colleague Joel Garner for the presidency of the West Indies Cricket Board. So Andy says the current president, Dave Cameron, who Mr. Garner is trying to unseat, should be held responsible for the fiasco that led to the abrupt end to the West Indies tour of India last October. West Indies cricket needs a more competent and respected leader, so Andy says, someone, he says, like Joel Garner. The election takes place next month. And finally, this story comes from Thailand and from the country's Moral Promotion Center. Well, it's urging teenagers to skip the sex on Valentine's Day as authorities seek to curb what they call risky behavior on Saturday. The center has announced its Just a Meal for Valentine campaign, urging teenagers in the country to stick to dinner dates for Valentine's Day and avoid getting into situations where they will feel tempted to engage in premarital sex. And they don't want that to happen. That's Nation News for Wednesday. For more, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Thursday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thanks so much for joining us.